Hello everyone, I just want to let you know that this video was recorded live on stream. I record streams randomly throughout the day, so if you did enjoy this, please check out my streams, turn your notifications on so you can see when I put them up, and please do enjoy the video. Howdy y'all, welcome to the stream. Today, after a long break, because mental health, also I went over to my dad's, we are doing a tier list of all the scrap monsters. If you don't know, I'm doing a tier list off the Yu-Gi-Oh! Scrap monsters, and just basically like one of my favorite archetypes of all time. I've always loved them, always found them really fun. I always find archetypes where you like destroy your own cards to get advantage fun. It's the reason I like stuff like Unchained. It is the stove. I am finally available once again to do things. I'm no longer at my father's where my computer will overheat if I play Roblox on too high a setting. Starting off, this is going to be turned into a video by the way, so say hi to YouTube. Hello. Starting off, Scrap Mind Reader. Card gets an easy B. It's really a singular powerful card, but the fact that it's during main phase 2 that it gets revival, and the fact that it needs all secret materials to be scrapped allows for a lot of this experimentation in my opinion, because this deck really is meant to be just mashed with other decks. You could tell these guys don't do a lot by themselves, but they're very generic. They don't lock you into anything, and so like, very good card. Revival effects in this deck are great because you're sending a bunch of stuff to the grave, so you want that little revival. But there are cards that are just better. You see, it's okay. It's okay. Orthos. This card gets an easy A. I don't see it played in every build, but in my opinion, it should. Free special summon that also destroys a card in Scrap is fucking beautiful. One of the best main deck cards in Scrap, in my opinion, and one of their best monsters, especially. Think absolutely rocks. Its problem though can be, if you're not careful and if you're not playing right, the fact that most of your destruction effects only add from grave to hand, you could end up just running out of advantage because you're destroying too much shit, so you have to be careful. Scrap Raptor S. Oh my, this card's fucking crazy. This card is not only searchable because it's a dinosaur in Fossil Dig, but also destroying a card in the field to get an extra normal summon, meaning even though you're destroying shit, and then you're adding something back, you'll instantly be able to normal summon that shit again, which is absolutely crucial. It just fucking actually bonkers. The fact that this card got printed at all shows Konami will just do anything for small archetypes. Scrap Shark, give it a B. Scrap Shark's alright. It's an okay card, and dumping Scrap Monsters isn't great, but there are cards like Scrap Searcher and Scrap Mind Reader that are just actually you want to have in the graveyard, but most you don't. So it's kind of weird, as well as like how to get it into the grave and how to get it be destroyed is usually by its own effect, which is easy to pull off, but you kind of have to waste normal summon on doing nothing, which is pretty shit. Still, dumping shit to the grave, getting free tuners is good. Fridge, I believe? Yeah, S. Okay, it's not even Fridge, we just call it Fridge. I've called it Fridge for the longest time. Bonkers. A revive from grave in a deck that can... Shut the fuck up. A revive from grave in a deck that can special summon this from deck pretty much constantly? Goddamn ridiculous. This... just revive from grave to your opponent's field, which is important for this guy. Bonkers. Just absolutely bonkers. This card is very, very necessary. If Scrap didn't have this, they'd be about infinitely less playable. F. This is a 1 tribute card contesting with Golem to be special summoned from deck. Let's go look at this card. Look at this card. Cannot be used for secret summon a scrap monster, so it can't really be used that generically. If it's attacked in defense position, it destroys itself and then you recycle. That is all it does. Yeah, it's a tuner. Cool. That is not worth it. It is not worth it. If anything, Scrap are used more as link spam. So like that doesn't fucking matter at the end of the day. I mean, look at his fucking he even looks like a little bitch. Look at him. He looks like he evades taxes. All right, that's all I'm. Yeah, Breaker's good. Put him at B though, because like he's very good, because if your opponent controls a monster, you just special summon this shit, then you have to destroy a scrap monster, though. So unless you already have board presence, he's kind of fucked. By himself in your hand, he's literally useless. Pretty much, you just want to include just Fridge as your tribute monster, and this guy can go kill himself. Scrap Archfiend, right? Yeah, Scrap Archfiend. F. This card is booty. Scrap Archfiend is just fucking terrible. It came out at the beginning of the Synchro era, and you can really tell because it's just a generic 7 with the highest attack, which at the time is good, but as of now, it has aged so goddamn poorly, where cards like Fridge over here have aged fucking phenomenally. And as well as if you look at the other scrap Synchro Monster from this time, it's clear this guy was just fucking dead after a couple packs of him. Actual Garbo. On the other end of the spectrum, A for Scrap Dragon. Why not S? Because I will see scrap decks that just don't use this guy as much. They'll use him for like one destruction for their own stuff for combos, and then they'll just leave him off. But goddamn if he isn't a good boss monster. Being able to just destroy each turn, destroy one of your scraps to recycle, and then being able to destroy one of your opponent's cards is great. Especially helps you get rid of back row, forcing them to either activate it or lose it. Goddamn beautiful card right there. Definitely should be included in decks. Remember, you got to be careful with your advantage. A little less with, actually, I want to put him higher A. The fact that it can like destroy also your spell traps means you have to worry less about your advantage, and you can worry more about just getting rid of your opponent's shit. Scrap Twin Dragon. This is an easy B. Card's alright. The fact that it requires 2 tuners makes it very hard to summon, even in Scrap. But if you can summon it, it reads win the game. You just destroy a card, return 2 of your opponent's cards to the hand. Oh, so beautiful. Plus, if they get rid of it through any way, you just get to special from grave instead of recycling, which is fucking beautiful, actually. Card definitely should be run at 1 index in my opinion, but no higher just because usually bring it out and then you're not going to bring out another one. No real point to it. Scrap Atomic Dragon, F. Holy fuck. This card is good if it was 2 levels lower. If it was 2 levels lower, it kind of be like an option instead of Scrap Dragon. Like you could just, in graveyard heavy formats, you could interchange these guys in your side deck, but instead, this thing is goddamn unplayable. The levels have to align by fucking God's will for you to get this thing out in the first place, and is it worth it? Nope. Destroy one of your cards, cool, you recycle, and then you recycle 3 of your opponent's cards. If that was a quick effect, I think this card would be pretty fucking good and ahead of its time. A Shuffler would be crazy. It still would be too much investment, though. It still costs too much to summon. Next, Scrap Wyvern. Oh my fucking S. Holy shit. Scrap Wyvern is the best, like, one of the best cards ever printed for an archetype. Completely just requires scrap monsters to be played and doesn't lock you in anything. Specials a motherfucker from deck for you, destroys shit so you can recycle. Like, oh my fucking lord, bro. This card is literally broke. The fact that it got printed shows Konami doesn't give a fuck about balancing their smaller archetypes. They give a fuck about making them good. Scrap Worm, I think D tier. It does what every other scrap monster does, but it direct attacks, which, like, there are way better scrap monsters. It's still better than these guys, because it's just, like, it's chip damage at least, he can do some. Scrap Searcher. This is a really high A. Not as good as Scrap Dragon, but still good. If it's in the grave, which you can dump it and all that shit, you could just bring it back for tuner setups, or you can use good old Golem. Golem will summon this onto the opponent's field and just wipe their board. A full destruction of all their monsters. Fucking bonkers. I actually think this is better than Scrap Dragon, because I see this played more than Scrap Dragon, actually. Then we have Scrap Goblin. Deceptive A, not as good as, like, I think a little better than Orthos, I'm gonna go with. This card is stupid. It should not be good anymore, but it is. Having a just good defensive wall that can block all attacks if you brick is kind of important in Scrap. You would be surprised how often we end up bricking, mainly because we have, like, 1 Searcher and a bunch of Ashables. So we'll get ashed, especially in like Master Duel and shit. We'll get ashed and then we're fucked. So we just have to rely on old Gabi here to get the job done. Scrap Hunter, I want to put him in B, but honestly he's C. Scrap Hunter seems super good, but the problem is all your field presence cards that come onto the field have to destroy another card in the field to do anything. As such, often, before he can get his destruction effect off, he's already destroyed. And he doesn't have any recycling, so he's, like, the worst for that. Scrap Recycler. This is not a scrap monster. This is not a scrap monster. It's cool in Scrap, but I'd say, like, a B, because it just gets summoned more than Twin Dragon, and honestly, I barely see this used in Scrap, mainly because you just want more cards to destroy, not that recycle. basically, because you're already doing recycling with all your destruction effects. You'd rather have cards that trigger those recycling effects. Scrap Beast, I have never read this card, honestly. Yeah, this card's booty. Scrap Goblin is just better. Scrap Goblin's literally just better. I mean, it's a tuner. It's a level 4 tuner, which is cool, so I guess it's a little better. It's probably better than Scrap Losi. Scrap Chimera. That is an easy A, absolutely. Special tuner from Grave. It does, can only be used for a Scrap Synchro Monster, but I think that counts way less here, because it specials a motherfucker from Grave, which is kinda perfecto, in my opinion, when it comes to Scrap Monsters. Not as good as Searcher. Special Summoning from Grave, as well as the Golem combo is great, but still a really good fucking card. Next we have Kong. Not doing anything special here. Kong is also kinda low played, because it doesn't really do anything. Shark is just better because it pitches cards. Kong is worse because it adds from grave to hand, which is what everyone else is doing, but you have to normal summon it, which is literally garbage.
I then rearranged it because I didn't like the ranking I gave everything.
That is my tier list for all the scrap monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh! Thank you guys for tuning in and watching. I appreciate you hanging out, and I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.